This is the airnetwork.net. Greg Banks in the studio this afternoon for District AA wrestling action live from Altoona Field House this afternoon. Brought to you courtesy of the airnetwork.net and the Huntingdon Drop-In Center at 512 Washington Street. Also our friends from Images Print Shop, downtown Huntingdon. And tonight's Bearcat broadcast underwritten by Huntingdon High School alumnus, the class of 69 and 72. Plus, tonight's broadcast brought to you by penswoods.net. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade anything, check out the free ads at penswoods.net. Hey, by the way, last night, the opening round and the quarterfinals at Altoona Area High School. Right now, though, Chad States is live from the semifinals, and Chad will update us on what's happening there thus far today. Chad, what's going on at Altoona High?
Hey, we're just getting ready to start the semifinal round right now at 106 pounds. We see Josh Boozle from Mount Union wrestling his semifinal bout against Byron Dowart from Forest Hills. Huntingdon will enter with 7 in the semis, starting at 126 pounds, or 120 pounds. Greg, you got me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, starting at 120 pounds with Isaac Benson. He will wrestle freshman Tyler Wildman from Juniata.
Okay.
Boozle just went ahead and won his semifinal round by fall, so he will move into the finals for Mount Union.
All right, so the first Huntingdon kid should be coming up very shortly. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he should be coming up very shortly as we get through here. And team standings, Huntingdon is leading with 120 points. Mount Union followed a close second with 109.5. So tight team race. Huntingdon able to really do some damage this round. As again, they have 7 guys in the semifinal round. If they're able to get the bulk of those through, I can't see where the team race is going to be close by the end of this. So Huntingdon looking to do some damage, maybe put away the team title here in this round tonight. Again, the semifinal round is going to get underway here real shortly for the Bearcats at 120 pounds. Isaac Benson, a sophomore, top seed at 120 pounds, will wrestle Tyler Wildman from Juniata. Then we will move off to 132 pounds, where top seeded Colin Glorioso will wrestle Ian Ostrowski from Central Cambria. 138 pounds, Tyler Scott will wrestle Robbie Steele from Mount Union. So there's a head-to-head matchup between the top 2 teams in the district. Seth Bainey from Huntingdon, 145 pounds. He's your top seed. He will wrestle his semifinal match against Derek Yingling of West Branch. We move on to 152 pounds, where we'll have John Wagner of Huntingdon wrestling off against Derek Brown of Penn Cambria. And then we move all the way up to 170 for the final the next to final semifinal. Jacob Oliver, 2-time district champ, will wrestle against Alan Kane of Penns Valley. And then at 195 pounds, Logan Fisher, top seed, will wrestle off against Jerry Moore from Blairsville. So the action is going to be fast and furious here from the Altoona Field House. We're probably going to be looking at multiple Bearcats on multiple mats at the same time, and we'll try to bring you all the action and the best we can as we move through this, Greg.
All right, thank you, Chad. Chad States, by the way, live at Altoona Field House. It's District AA, District 6 AA wrestling action live from the Altoona Field House semifinals. How about those wrestlebacks this morning, Chad?
Well, Huntingdon had 2 kids, or 1 kid eliminated in the consolation bracket, so that brings their total to 4. Brady Shope, the heavyweight, was eliminated in the consolation round. Last night, Warren Shope at 126 pounds, Hunter Roan at 103, and Alex Mike at 182 were all eliminated. So those are your day 1 guys that weren't able to push through to day 2. So Huntington's still looking at a lot of kids out here wrestling. Jake Wagner won his Consi round bout today, won by fall. He'll move on to the Consi quarters. Drew Simpson at 160 pounds won his Consi round 2 match by a decision of 4-1. He will also move on to the Consi quarters. So looking at Huntington really trying to make their mark out here.
All right, and just a visualization, Chad. They have 2 mats operating at the same time. Is the semifinals on one mat and the wrestlebacks on the other?
Yeah, we have four matches running at one time here. So it looks like, and we have Jake Wagner. It looks like he's going to pick up the victory at 113 pounds, and he's going to move on to the Consi semis.
Okay.
So things are moving right along here.
Right.
For sure. We'll advance him out and see where he ends up. But there's Wagner from Huntingdon will wrestle in the Consi semis. We're now waiting for Isaac Benson to come up and wrestle his 126-pound match. We'll see how that goes. So lots of action here. Yes, it looks like they're wrestling semis and consolation bouts to keep things moving here on all 4 mats in a packed gym here in Altoona.
Chat stays live on the airnetwork.net. By the way, share with your friends that we are on the air now live through the semifinals of the District 6 AA, of course, wrestling tournament. Individually, of course, our guys are on the mat throughout the match tonight, and we'll have the finals for you as well, if possible. So you'll want to keep it right here on the airnetwork.net. By the way, tonight's broadcast is brought to you courtesy of the Huntingdon Drop-In Center at 512 Washington Street, downtown Huntingdon, where they provide a wide range of social, educational, and recreational activities to the local mental health population. They also operate the County Fresh Express food distribution every month, with the next one slated for this coming Wednesday, February 24th at 512 Washington Street. That begins at noon. The Huntingdon Drop-In Center at 512 Washington Street, thank you for your continued support. And thanks for listening to the airnetwork.net, home of the Huntingdon Bearcats. Chad States live at Altoona High School. All kinds of activities going on there. At Chad, typically the fight between Huntingdon and Mount Union rivalries is always a tough one.
Yeah, the Huntingdon Mount Union rivalry runs pretty deep, and it's no exception here tonight. Again, it was expected as a Mount Union kid is looking like he's going to get a fall over here on mat number 4. It's not to be expected that these two are the top 2 teams in the district and that they're battling things out right now.
Right.
Again, these 2 programs are deep. They're steeped in history, and there's not a lot of love lost between the 2 of them. We will have one semifinal bout. That'll be at 138 pounds. Tyler Scott will wrestle off Robbie Steele. That was a really close bout earlier in the season. I believe Tyler Scott came away with that victory. But again, it's hot. It's heated. The schools are 12 miles apart.
Right. And
it's just always a big rivalry whenever they get out here and do stuff. Specifically in wrestling, it just seems like this rivalry has grown to where they pack a gym no matter where they go. So,
no doubt.
Again, expect some fireworks here this afternoon from the Altoona Field House.
And as you mentioned that, I want to say hi to Kathy. Corey Wirtz's mother is listening this afternoon. So Kathy, who I graduated with, I'm just going to say it for a moment, go Trojans. But, my heart is with the Bearcats.
Yes, as Corey just walked off, it looked like Stidfo from Mount Union did win by fall, so her son should be pretty proud of where his team is at and what they are doing, as they still have a lot of wrestlers alive in these AA brackets here, looking to advance on to in 2 weeks to the regional that'll be held at Camden McMillan High School.
And let me ask you this about last night and, of course, the quarterfinals. How did Jake Oliver look as he returned to the match for the first time in a while?
Well, he won by fall in his first match in 16 seconds, and then his second match he won by fall in 44. So I would say he was looking pretty good.
Good.
Again, those results are to be expected. Jake is a top-notch kid. He's, he was a state runner-up for a reason last year because he's just that good. So, anything less than dominance here this weekend wouldn't be expected, but I'm still wondering what that shoulder is going to look like here in the finals. To see, he's wearing a T-shirt underneath his singlet, which means it's telling me that he's got that shoulder wrapped or something along the way there. So I don't know whether he's still a little tentative with it or what, but we'll see as the competition gets a little bit stiffer here in the next couple rounds. We'll see what Jake can bring to the table.
You're listening to the airnetwork.net. Chat States, by the way, live from Altoona Field House. It's District AA wrestling this afternoon. The semifinals are underway. We hope to bring you all the Huntingdon semifinal matches, in addition to the final matches coming up this evening. If you can't get to Altoona, spread the word. It's live right now and throughout the day on the airnetwork.net. Simply www.theairnetwork.net. Just go online and click on Tune In. Chad?
Yep, back at the Altoona Fieldhouse again. We're just patiently waiting for Isaac Benderson to step on the mat here. He's got bout 361. Again, he's wrestling against Tyler Wildman of Juniata. Tyler's a freshman, 19-8 on the season. Isaac just a sophomore at 24-8. Again, we're just waiting to see what bout or what mat he's going to be able to step onto. As we got 4 matches going here at one shot. So,
yeah, you in a pretty good vantage point though to see all 4 mats, or is it like kind of difficult to see some of them?
No, the one in the back corner is just a little bit difficult to see, but I think I can peek through the coaches and be able to pick up what we need to here. So
all right.
We should be all right.
All right, fantastic. Getting all the action of the semifinals on the airnetwork.net. Huntingdon Bearcats, oh, by the way, Mount Union just trailing a little bit in team competition. More importantly, though, the individuals are still standing. As last count, we had 7 Huntingdon Bearcats make it to the semifinals, correct?
That's correct. 7 Huntingdon Bearcats. All 7 are the top seed at their weight class, so this isn't to be expected. But this is kind of a blood round for Huntingdon. They've got to come out here and they've got to show that those 7 top seeds deserve to be the top seeds and advance them on to the finals. If they do that, I feel pretty confident that they should salt away the team championship going into this evening's matches.
Right. And once we get into our matches, by the way, Chad, I'll shut down the microphone and let you just take it from there throughout the entire match. And then I'll jump back on after you're done, how we do that.
Sounds good.
All righty. Meanwhile, we're waiting Bearcat to hit the mats. At what weight class is that again?
120 pounds. Isaac Benson.
Okay.
In fact, we just had one. Let's see where we're going at here. They've got bouts flowing all around here, so pardon me. So we're just waiting for about 361. I see Benson. He's walking around. He's got his headphones on. See his dad, Terry, trailing him. Isaac's a good kid. He actually caught for me this year in Teener League, so anxiously waiting to see as he goes by. We'll give him a big old fist bump. Go get him, Isaac. We'll see what happens here as we step up. It's an important bout for Isaac. He's, again, just a sophomore.
Mm-hmm.
I think he finished 5th last year at the district, so to come in here as a sophomore, and in fact his match is going to happen right in front of us, so it's going to be great. Again, just a sophomore. Last year finished 5th. Almost made it out of regionals to states, but not quite. So this is a very important bout for him moving forward, not just today, but also in his career as well. As Isaac looks to make that next level step, and we're going to see what happens as he's about ready to step out to the mat, slapping the coach's hands. Coach John Mikett and his dad Terry Benson in the corner. Isaac's going to go over to the table and check in, and we're about ready to get underway here at 120 pounds. Again, Isaac Benson, the top seed. Tyler Weilman, the 5th seed. Weilman won by fall in both of his matches so far, but so has Isaac. Isaac pinned his first kid in 1 minute and 53 seconds, and then pinned his second kid, Nathan and Ernest from Central, in 46 seconds. So we are about ready to go into the way. Wrestlers shake their hands on the mat, and we're underway here at 120 pounds. Isaac gearing up and giving him a look. Weak little shot by Benson there as he holds off. Both wrestlers in the center of the mat. Benson with the green anklet. We got Weilman with the red anklet. Both tied up here. Center of the mat. 1:42 to go. First period. Semifinal match between Benson and Weilman. Benson in on a single leg shot. Coming out between the legs, trying to finish off. Weilman flips Benson over. Now Benson's bridging, trying to finish off a single leg. And it looks like Weilman is going to scoot around. And that's going to be a two-point takedown for Weilman as he gets out to a 2-point lead. Both wrestlers just come off the near side of the mat here, so a bit of a scramble there. 1 minute, 17 seconds left to go. Benson coming out on the losing end of that scramble, and now is down 2-0 by virtue of a takedown for Weilman. Both wrestlers in down position now. Benson able to escape. He is out. 2-1 is your bout score here. 120-pound semifinal. Now Benson in on another single leg, in on the left leg of Weilman. Weilman grabbing the ankle of Benson, trying to hold off this shot attempt on the far edge of the mat. Benson trying to pull it in, really trying to suck it in again, trying to come out between the legs of Weilman, and both wrestlers are off the mat again. We're still neutral here. 54 seconds left to go, period number 1. There's a double leg shot attempt by Benson as he's being really aggressive here in this match. Now he's trying to flip back around, and he's going to turn in and get 2. So that's a 2-point takedown for Isaac Benson. 43 seconds left to go. That's a big takedown for him here at the end of the period. Benson has shown the ability to be able to ride good on top, so let's see if he can continue that here and not allow Weilman to get out. Heavy on a tight waist here is Benson in the center of the mat. Got Weilman pancaked out. Looking for wrist control and moving up. Heavy on a tight waist. Benson trying to do a arm bar or get a tilt here. He's arm bar, Weilman up. 16 seconds left to go, period number 1. Weilman bellied out on the mat. So, again, Benson doing a really good job on top, not allowing Weilman to go anywhere. He's got him barred up. He's trying to run with that. Not able to. 2 seconds to go. He's trying to get him turned over. No count, no back points on that as Benson was really trying to work hard to get him turned over. Benson will carry a 3-2 lead at the end of period number 2. Wildman will defer. Benson's choice, second period. Benson is deciding to go neutral. Beautiful double leg takedown for Benson and near the end of period number 1 there to push us out to a 3-2 lead for the top seed. There's another single leg attempt. In on that left leg is Benson again. Same move, trying to come out in underneath, in between the legs of Wildman. Both wrestlers off the edge of the mat. 1:45 to go, period number 2 here. Live from the Altoona Field House in the AA Semifinals of District 6. There's Wildman in on a quick ankle pick. Has to give it up, and Benson able to fight off that ankle pick. Both wrestlers off the edge of the mat. So nice ankle pick attempt there by Wildman. Benson able to fight that off. 3-2 still your score. 1:34 to go, period number 2. The wrestlers circle each other. There's another freight train double leg attempt and a takedown by Isaac Benson. A beautiful shot by Benson. The double leg takedown's there for him all day long if he wants to take it. And now he scoots out to a 5-2 lead in the semifinal bout. Again, Benson's shown the ability to be a hammer on top, and hopefully we're going to see it. Now he just cuts Wildman loose. So 5-3 your score as Benson just kind of cuts him loose and is going to look for another shot here, another takedown. In deep on another left leg takedown is Benson. Benson again trying to finish it, trying to come out on top. He's got to get his head out. Trying to get his head out. We're in a scramble here position. Benson trying to pop his head out from between Wildman's legs. Still deep in on a left hand or a left leg shot. He's able to get his head out. It's going to be close. 44 seconds left to go, period number 2, and we're going to get a stalemate here. Wildman, you can hear Coach John Mikan in the background saying, don't let him roll you through. And that's what's happening is every time Benson's trying to get a shot, he's coming out between the legs, but Wildman able to roll through there. Now, Wildman in on a single leg shot, and Benson quickly with a 2-point takedown, and he stakes out to a 7-3 lead here as he's able to fight that nice shot off by Wildman, throw in his arms, and able to take Wildman down. So Isaac Benson, 32 seconds left to go, period number 2, out to a 7-3 lead. Going to have a caution on top as Benson starts a little bit early here. Again, at 120-pound semifinal, District 6 AA. Benson, the top seed, looking to go to work on top. Throwing an arm bar in, and we'll see what he's able to do. There's Benson trying to secure some back points here as he's trying to get Wildman over on his back. Again, heavy tight waist for Benson. Wildman gets up to his feet. Benson on his back. I can't believe they're not going to stalemate this now. Wildman is now out for a 1-point escape. Wildman with a shot. Benson able to fight off and sprawl back near side of the mat. Right here in front of Coach Mikan, and period number 2 is going to end with Isaac Benson out to a 7-4 lead over Tyler Wildman of Juniata. Wildman will select down position here to begin period number 3, and it'll be up to Benson to protect his 3-point lead and move into tonight's finals. We start period number 3. Benson trying to work over the shoulders of Wildman, trying to get him tilted over. Wildman having nothing of it, but Benson getting a little tall on top. Wildman trying to flip him over. Now Benson in all kinds of trouble as Wildman is able to flip him over. Benson got too high on top, and Wildman able to flip him over, get a reversal, and he's got Benson in all kinds of trouble on his back with a fall. And Benson now just got pinned at the 4-minute and 24-second mark. Benson will lose his semifinal match. He got a little bit too high there on trying to get Wildman turned over and lost by fall. So Benson will now move down into the Concy semifinal. So that's an unfortunate situation where Isaac was out to a 7-3 lead and then just got too high on the guy. Wildman able to turn him and get the reversal, and now Benson will move down to the wrestlebacks in tonight's matches.
Chat State's live at Altoona Area High School. It's the field house, by the way. Live on the airnetwork.net. And, of course, District AA wrestling action with Huntingdon Bearcats. And first opponent out on the mat, Isaac Benson, losing in a pinned. Was he trying to maybe hook up a cradle or something, Chad?
He was. He was actually trying to just use his arm bars and try to get him turned over. But he ended up getting too high on Wildman, and Wildman was able to slip his head out and just get a reversal and then take Isaac straight to his back. So, again, just some bad positioning there for Isaac, and dropping. I'm sure what's going to be a heartbreaking decision for him is he was looking. I mean, he was looking really good, and he had cruise control going in that match, and he should have been in the final. But again, sometimes you make a mistake, and another, at this level, a good wrestler is going to take advantage of that, and that's exactly what we saw Wildman do. So now we're going to wait for our next match. Will be 132 pounds, top seeded Colin Glorioso. And he will end up wrestling Ian Ostrowski of Central Cambria. Ostrowski is senior, 27-6. Colin Glorioso, 29-6. Again, Colin picking up his 150th victory last night in his quarterfinal match. He is a 2-time District 6 champion, looking to become a 3-time District 6 champion. So that'll be our next match for Huntingdon coming up here in a few minutes. So, Greg, back to you at the studio for some announcements, if you would.
All righty, and of course, just stand by because I'll bring you up from time to time, see if you're still with us. Hey, Chad, by the way, the network is sounding fabulous, man, so thank you. Chad State's live from Altoona High School, the field house, where tonight, or this afternoon, Huntingdon Bearcats went into the semifinals with 7 wrestlers looking for a title in District 6 action. Isaac Benson wrestling at 120, by the way, losing his match in the waning moments. Of course, a kind of a bad move and a pin. So Benson goes perhaps in the consolation to wrestle back into 3rd place. Meanwhile, we have more matches coming up throughout the afternoon. We'll be in and out throughout the afternoon as we bring you, I believe Chad said, 132 weight class with the Huntingdon Bearcats. Meanwhile, Mount Union, I believe they had a winner in their first round of the semifinals. We'll try to update you on that as well as we get back to Chad throughout the afternoon. Don't forget, district finals coming up this evening, and you'll be hearing the replay of our semifinals coming up throughout the afternoon. Of course, as we record this, and we are currently on the air live, by the way. So if you'd like to give us a shout out on Facebook, you can do that. The Air Network Facebook page is alive this afternoon as we share some information with you. Meanwhile, Chad State standing by in Altoona at the field house, and we'll be back with more action from District 6 AA Wrestling Tournament and championships coming up throughout the afternoon. Keep it here. Okay, Chad, I'll be switching back and forth to other programming instead of just kind of like... Chad State's live, by the way, at Altoona Field House for District 6 AA Wrestling action. Back to you, Chad.
Great. We're just going to keep it right here for a while as we're going to have a bevy of top-seeded Bearcats going at 132, 138, 145, 152. So get ready for some action. Fast and furious. First up is going to be senior Colin Glorioso, 31-6 on the year. He's going to go up against Ian Ostrowski of Central Cambria. He is the 4 seed. Glorioso in. Right now we're ready to start, and we're underway. Glorioso pushing Ostrowski off to the mat. Glorioso wearing a face mask today as he banged up his nose earlier in the season here. Did not wrestle in the state duels down in Hershey. Took some time off to try to get that healed, but he is wearing a face mask out here. Both wrestlers now tied up on the middle of the mat. And no real shot attempt now as there's Glorioso with a near side cradle attempt now on Ostrowski. Ostrowski able to push out to the side, so Glorioso trying to scoot around to the side there of Ostrowski and get try to hook up the cradle. In this position, there's a double leg takedown shot by Glorioso. Ostrowski able to sprawl out of that. 1:21 to go. First period action at 132 pounds. Again, Colin Glorioso, 2-time District 6 AA champion. Looking to retain that title. And we have a stalemate here. 1:10 left to go. He is your top seed. He is your heavy favorite at this weight class. Sitting down below would be number 2 ranked Josh Boozle. Boozle, the 2 seed from Mount Union. They did wrestle earlier in the year, and with Colin Glorioso able to come out with a decision in that. No action, still in the middle of the mat. Glorioso tried to throw behind. Now he's in on a double leg takedown attempt. Ostrowski able to sprawl out. Glorioso backed out of the edge of the mat. Both wrestlers, no score here. Still first period, 40 seconds left to go. Period number 1. Glorioso tapping ahead of Ostrowski. Ostrowski again from Central Cambria. He's a senior. Coming into the tournament 27-6. Won both of his matches. First match by technical fall, second match by decision. And both wrestlers tied up middle of the mat here. No real shot action. Glorioso holding on to the elbows of Ostrowski. 10 seconds left to go, period number 1. Both wrestlers again off to the far side of the mat. We'll return back to the center of the mat here. 7 seconds left to go, period number 1. Little head tap there by Glorioso. Ostrowski grabs his wrist. And time is up, period number 1. 0-0 your score. Be Red's choice, so Ostrowski defers, and Glorioso decides to take the down position here to start period number 1. Or period number 2, excuse me. Coach John Mikan and assistant coach Eric Shea in Glorioso's corner. Glorioso looking to get out from underneath, and there's your 1-point escape for Glorioso as he goes out to a 1-0 lead. And both wrestlers just kind of tying up here in the middle of the mat, hanging on to the elbows, pushing each other back and forth. Glorioso stretched out, trying to shove Ostrowski back. No real shot attempt now. There's a little weak attempt by Glorioso. And another one. Ostrowski able to fend that one off and push Glorioso off the edge of the mat. 1:23 left to go. Period number 2. Again, we're live from the Altoona area field house. AA District 6 wrestling action. And both of them still controlling the elbows. Really not a lot of good, strong shot attempts here. Glorioso had one in the first period. Ostrowski able to fend that one off. And then Glorioso trying to come around for the side and trying to get a hook up a cradle, but that one was warded off by Ostrowski. Really about your only offense that you've seen so far. Ostrowski all defense here. Again, 50 seconds left to go, period number 2. Both wrestlers just head tied up here in the middle of the mat, controlling elbows. Little head tap. There's Glorioso trying to get low on Ostrowski. Ostrowski not letting him do that. And just kind of pushing each other back and forth, back and forth. Glorioso trying to now hit head snaps to try to get down something going. Nothing happening. 24 seconds left to go. Both wrestlers off the edge of the mat. Again, Glorioso trying to get some offense going here. Going heavy on the head on Ostrowski. Glorioso doing some head taps. Now just tying up again. 12 seconds left to go. Period number 2. Glorioso out to a 1-0 lead by way of escape. And we are going to head into 3 seconds left to go. But we're going to head into period number 3. 1-0 lead. Very tedious 1-0 lead for Colin Glorioso of Huntingdon. Ostrowski electing to go, he's electing to go neutral here. He's not really been on a shot for Glorioso, so I'm surprised, although he must be afraid of what Glorioso is able to do on top, as Colin is a very, very, very good wrestler from the top position. So we begin period number 3. Glorioso 1-0 over Ostrowski of Central Cambria. And again, both wrestlers trying to vie for position here, but none really able to gain it. Go off the center of the mat, or off the edge of the mat, bounce back to the center now. More head taps. Again, Glorioso heavy on the neck of Ostrowski, but Ostrowski just reaching back and grabbing the elbows of Glorioso, not allowing him to take a shot, not allowing him to get anywhere. Ostrowski doing a really nice job here of not allowing Glorioso to get any offense going whatsoever. Ostrowski with some wrist control on Glorioso. Glorioso pushing him now, Ostrowski tried a weak little throw attempt at Glorioso. Collin would have none of it. Both wrestlers off the edge of the mat. 1-0 your score still in favor of Collin Glorioso of Huntingdon. Both wrestlers again tied up here, center of the mat, same scenario, grabbing a hold of each other's elbows and just kind of pushing back and forth. .52 seconds left to go, period number 3. Now, it looks like Ostrowski tried to hit Glorioso with a headlock attempt. Glorioso able to fight that off. No takedown awarded for Ostrowski, and we are still neutral with 46 seconds left to go. So a snap down to headlock attempt by Ostrowski failed. Good defense by Glorioso there, and he will still maintain a very slim 1-0 lead here. 36 seconds left to go, period number 3. There goes, again, both wrestlers just kind of shoving each other around to go off the far edge of the mat. And we are still at a 1-0 lead by way of an escape by Collin Glorioso in period number 2. That is your only score of the match. 20 seconds left to go for Glorioso. And there's a snap down attempt by Ostrowski on Glorioso, trying to get heavy on his head. Glorioso having nothing of it. 15 seconds left to go. Glorioso just kind of dancing around. No stall warnings on either wrestler, so Glorioso could essentially just kind of back out of this if he wanted to. He gets heavy on the head of Ostrowski. 6 seconds left. 5 seconds left. 4 seconds left. There's a throw attempt by Ostrowski. Both wrestlers go out of bounds. 3 seconds left to go at 132-pound semifinal. Glorioso just kind of walks back, ends, and he will win by virtue of an escape point in the second period, 1-0. So Collin Glorioso of Huntingdon will advance to tonight's finals by way of a 1-0 decision over Ian Ostrowski of Central Cambria. On mat 2, we're going to have Robbie Steele of Mount Union and Tyler Scott coming up in their 138-pound semifinal match. That is coming up should be right about now. And that will be on the same mat as Glorioso just ended. So we are going to see, Tyler Scott and Robbie Steele of Mount Union. So Huntingdon versus Mount Union right here in a District 6 AA semifinal match. And we are about ready to get underway as both wrestlers are now putting on their anklets. Steele will have the green anklets. Scott will have the red anklets. They are familiar with each other. And the bout is underway here at 138 pounds. Steele the number 4 seed. Scott the number 1 seed. Huntingdon now has advanced 1 into tonight's finals. That is Collin Glorioso just moments ago. 1-0 win over Ian Ostrowski, Central Cambria. Isaac Benson coming up on the short end. Losing by fall in his 120-pound match as he got just a little bit too high on his opponent, and Tyler Wildman able to flip him over and advance into tonight's finals, dropping Isaac Benson down into the Conci semis. Scott and Steele both in a neutral position, just kind of dancing around each other here. Just as a side note, Robbie's dad, Merle, works with me up at ACO Brands. Shout out to Merle and his wife, Joe Cassa, 2 fantastic people. Wish Robbie nothing but the best here. As he comes from good stock, that's for sure. 1:10 left to go, period number 1. Both wrestlers on the edge of the mat, just kind of fighting for position here. Again, just tied up with each other. Nothing really going on. They will now readjust and walk back to the center of the mat, try to get underway. Steele from Mount Union. Robbie a 26-7 on the year. There's a shot attempt by Steele, weak one. Scott able to fend that one off. He won in his first match by falling 52 seconds and then a 3-2 decision over Ethan Kennedy of Central. Tyler Scott is here by virtue of a fall in his first match over Ben Williams of Central Cambria, and then a 10-2 major decision of Hunter Parks of West Branch. There's a shot attempt by Tyler Scott. Both wrestlers go out of bounds. 30 seconds left to go here, period number 1. 0-0 your bout score here at 138 pounds. Scott and Steele dancing around. Either one with a real strong shot here. 16 seconds left to go, period number 1. Both wrestlers go out of bounds. And Coach John Mike is telling Tyler, get his offense going, get low, try to get something started here. Steele and Scott pretty evenly matched. I don't remember what the bout score was from their earlier match, but I believe that Scott won a 3-2 or 4-2 decision, so it wasn't very much at all as period number 1 ends. Steele will get his choice, and he will take the down position as we begin period number 2. And Mount Union in second place in the team standings with 109 points, 109.5 entering the semifinal round. Huntingdon in first with 120 points. Both wrestlers advancing one already to the finals. Josh Boozle at 106 pounds for Mount Union, and Colin Glorioso at 132 pounds for Huntingdon. On our way here in period number 2. Tyler Scott in on a heavy tight waist, and he rides Steele out of bounds. Both wrestlers played football this year. Both members of successful football teams, as Robbie was a running back for the Mount Union Trojans, and Scott was a cornerback wide receiver for the Bearcats on Friday nights. Scott in on a heavy tight waist, trying to break and belly out Steele. Scott now looking for whisk control, coming up around the side of the head. Still on a tight waist. Robbins riding Steele almost out of bounds here. Far side of the mat. Now looked like Scott was trying to look for a near side cradle attempt. Steele able to fight that off. 1:33 left to go. Period number 2. 0-0 your bout score. Steele in a down position. Tried to hit a switch there. Unable to come out as Scott's able to catch him and then getting bellied out here in the center of the mat. Again, the Huntingdon wrestlers this year have really proved pretty tough on top, and we kind of saw that respect given last match as Ostrowski decided not to go into down position and try to get his 1-point escape because he was afraid that Glorioso would end up turning him. He ended up going neutral and losing 1-0. Scott still on a heavy tight waist. Still's got Robbie Steele bellied out here. Now Steele trying to fight to his feet, able to fight to his feet and walk off the edge of the mat. 1 minute, 1 second left to go, period number 2. Again, this is Huntingdon versus Mount Union, the top 2 teams here at District 6 AA. A crucial match for the team standings and also individually. Steele quickly to his feet now, able to get the 1-point escape with 56 seconds left to go. Both wrestlers back to the center of the mat. 50 seconds left to go. Steele and Scott, and there is Steele backing up off of the mat. And now they get readjusted back out here. Again, no real shot attempt by either wrestler. Both of similar build, similar strength, so it's a pretty even matchup all the way around. Tyler keeps pushing Steele back. Steele keeps coming back at him. There's a shot attempt by Steele. Tyler with a attempted throw there. Steele able to fend that off. 30 seconds left to go. Period number 2. Coach John Mike shouting out to Scott that he has to get his shots going. 17 seconds left to go. I mean, I really get the feeling here that the first person to get a takedown is going to win this one. Trying to avoid overtime. Trying to tell Tyler Scott to do a tap and go. Tap his head and go to the legs. 3 seconds left to go. 2-1, and period 2 is going to end here at 138 pounds. Tyler Scott of Huntingdon will take the down position. He is your top seed at 138 pounds. Robbie Steele clinging on to a 1-0 lead by way of escape in the second period. Now Scott quickly up to his feet. Trying to get to his feet there. Scott able to get returned down to the mat. Now he's out for the 1-point escape. As Steele unable to hang on. Scott out to his feet, able to peel away the hands of Steele, and we are tied up now at 1-1 with 1:45 to go, period number 3. Both wrestlers just kind of pushing each other around. Scott heavy on the neck of Steele. He's kind of got his arms tied up as he got underhooks going on there. Now Steele fights that off. Again, we're looking to see which one's really going to shoot first and try to get in on that single leg. I think both wrestlers really respect each other and are kind of looking for the other one to shoot to see if they can counter it and get a reversal or a takedown of their own. 1:12 to go. 1-1 your score here. There's Scott heavy on the head of Steele. Steele backing up a little bit. Scott's keep pushing. He's got underhooks going on, and both wrestlers again are going to be out of bounds. Really surprised that we have not seen any stall callings here. There's some fake shot attempts by Scott, and there's Scott with a 2-point takedown, and he's got Steele to his back, but Steele able to roll through. We have a 2-point takedown for Tyler Scott here in the far edge of the mat. He gets out to a 3-1 lead now with 46 seconds left to go as he's able to get 2 points. Referees are going to cock of this because he had Steele over to his back, so we're going to see, and they are not going to award a takedown. Honest to goodness, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know. I could see how they could not award back points, but clearly a takedown was had as Scott was able to pop out his head and gain control. So they're going to wipe the takedown off here with 46 seconds left to go. I'm not sure what the explanation is given to Coach John Mikett, but they're going to take a takedown off of the board, and we are back to 1-1 now with 43 seconds left to go. Again, Scott looked like he had a clear takedown and Steele over to his back. Again, the referees are going to wave that off. 30 seconds left to go, period number 3. And we'll try to catch up with Coach Mikett later and find out what the explanation was on that. But there's a shot attempt by Steele. Steele in on a double leg takedown. He's able to try to get Scott over. Scott trying to control the ankle and trying to slip out from behind and able to slip out behind the Steele and get a 2-point takedown. 15 seconds left to go. Now he gets a 2-point takedown. 3-1 your score. Steele out on a quick escape. 8 seconds left to go. 3-2 your score. So Scott able to get that. You can hear all kinds of action going on here, but Scott able to get that quick takedown. 8 seconds left to go. No stall call. All he has to do is kind of dance around and hold on, and he's going to win this, baby. 2 seconds, 1 second, 1 second to go on the match, and we are going to have Tyler Scott can become the second Bearcat to advance tonight. And that is it. Scott with a 3-2 victory over Robbie Steele of Mount Union. So Steele with a shot attempt here at the end. Scott able to counter it, and we'll get a hand slap. Good job, Tyler. Way to go. And we'll be able to get a hand slap there for Tyler Scott as he was able to come out on a 3-2 victory in the last seconds of the third period and advance to tonight's final. So Huntingdon now with 2 wrestlers into the finals, and that was a crucial matchup as a Huntingdon versus Mount Union matchup, and that'll kind of help the team point score. We're going to move on to 145 pounds. Top-seeded Seth Bainey of Huntingdon will now take on number 5, Derek Yingling of West Branch. Bainey entering the meet with a 35-7 record. Yingling coming in at 25-5. So we've got Yingling of West Branch and Bainey of Huntingdon, and I'm not sure what the luck factor is here, but all these semifinals for Huntingdon end up taking place on mat number 2. And there's Bainey on a quick takedown attempt, but Yingling able to come around for 2 points and get the takedown on Bainey. So Bainey tried to do a quick little slip by. Yingling able to counter that and get a takedown of his own. Yingling out to a 2-0 score over Bainey here in period number 1 with 1:31 left to go. So just to recap here, we had Isaac Benson losing the first match, semifinal match for the Bearcats of the evening. There's a reversal for Bainey, not given yet, but there it is, and he ties up the match 2-2. 2-point reversal now for Bainey, and Bainey will go to work on top of Yingling. Bainey really strong on top of the Bearcats. He's trying to work arm bars and trying to get Yingling turned over, and he's really working the right arm of Yingling hard. He's got it pinned really hard behind his neck, and now he's got Yingling bellied out here. So we'll just do a quick recap. At 120 pounds, Isaac Benson losing by fall in the semis. At 132 pounds, Colin Glorioso. We're going to come back to live action because now Bainey's getting a 3 count on the mat as he's got Yingling in all kinds of trouble barred up here. He's got 3 near fall points coming. 40 seconds left to go, period number 1. And Bainey, he's got Yingling, like I said, in all kinds of trouble as he's underneath him in total control of both the arms. Yingling trying to arch out of this. Bainey really not able to get him pinned as he's kind of laying underneath Yingling. Yingling's kind of sprawled completely over the top of Bainey, kind of an odd situation, but Bainey has complete control Yingling's arms, and Yingling not really able to go anywhere at this point. He's just kind of sitting on it. Ref is holding 3 near fall points as period number 1 is going to come to an end, and Seth Bainey is going to jump out to a 5-2 lead here at the end of period number 1. So again, we'll just try to do another quick recap here. Isaac Benson losing by fall at 120 pounds. At 132 pounds, Colin Glorioso of Huntingdon with a 1-0 decision, and he will advance into tonight's finals, along with top-seeded Tyler Scott of Huntingdon, who just moments ago defeated Robbie Steele of Mount Union 3-2 to move into tonight's finals. Seth Bainey looking to become the 3rd Bearcat to advance into the District 6 finals tonight. Again, live action from the Altoona High School Field House, District 6 AA Wrestling, brought to you by the airnetwork.net. 1:44 to go, period number 2. Wrestlers chose, it looks like Yingling chose a neutral position. 5-2 your score in favor of Seth Bainey over Derek Yingling of West Branch. West Branch sitting in 3rd place, team points, and there's Yingling trying a quick headlock attempt again on Bainey. Bainey able to fight that off. Now Yingling in on a deep single leg of Bainey, trying to drag him back into the center of the mat. He does. He's got Bainey's left leg jumped up in the air, and he's trying to finish off his single leg, but Bainey hopping around and trying to counter this on his own, trying to get his leg free. And a potentially dangerous situation called, and no takedown awarded to Yingling as Bainey was able to effectively fight that off and maintain his 5-2 score. 1:09 left to go, period number 2. Both wrestlers now center of the mat. Again, there's another headlock throw attempt by Yingling, and Bainey able to fight that one off and also fight off the single leg. 5-2 your score in favor of top seed Seth Bainey of Huntingdon over Derek Yingling. Yingling is a freshman from West Branch, so wrestling tough here. Bainey's a strong dude. He's a strong character. Again, Yingling choosing to go neutral because they again, the respect that's due to these Huntingdon wrestlers for being tough on top is obviously being demonstrated here tonight as Coach Mikett and Coach Shea do a fantastic job with these guys and teaching them how good positioning, good body points. And there's Bainey with a bear hug and a trip attempt of Yingling. No takedown awarded as both wrestlers go off the center of the mat. So Bainey with a bear hug and trying to trip Yingling down for a takedown. That fought off nicely by Yingling. 14 seconds left to go, period number 2. Bainey out to a 5-2 lead over Yingling. Yingling a tough customer. There's a shot attempt by Yingling, fended off by Bainey. Bainey heavy on the head of Yingling now here in the center of the mat. And period number 2 is going to come to an end. 5-2 your score. Again, Bainey is going to take down here to begin period number 3. Look to get his escape point out. Get out to a 4-point lead. We'll see if Yingling cuts him loose or if he tries to hold Bainey down and get some potential near fall points of his own. Bainey a pretty strong hombre. He's trying to base out. Bainey now up to his feet. And Yingling trying to hold on for dear life and not able to as Bainey's able to spin around and get his 1-point escape and now out to a 6-2 lead, 4-point lead. So Yingling's really going to have to go to work here. He's going to have to secure a takedown and either try to get some backfall, near fall points off of Bainey or cut him loose and try to get another takedown. He's going to have to try to play that takedown game, and that's very, very hard to do with Bainey. Bainey's got a real good base, real good defenses, and able to hold his own. 1:24 to go, period number 3. Bainey now drops to a knee, heavy on the head of Yingling. Referee is going to call a stalemate position. Return both wrestlers back to the center of the mat. 1:19 to go. There's Yingling in on a deep single leg of Bainey. Bainey trying to fight this one off. He's got a whizzer in. Again, that was a real nice shot attempt by Yingling. And now Yingling's going to come over and get a 2-point takedown. So it's going to make it 6-4 your score with 1 minute left to go. But Yingling's going to have to do some work here. He's going to have to cut Bainey loose to get another takedown or try to take Bainey to his mat. Now Bainey with a reversal and has Yingling to his back. So that's going to kind of backfire. Bainey getting near fall points taken. So it's a 5-point move for Bainey, and Bainey's got Yingling in all kinds of trouble again and trying to put the clamps down here. 40 seconds left to go, period number 3. Yingling arching off of his back here, center of the mat. Referee's holding 3, and he's able to flip out, and Bainey's going to get 3 near fall points and move this one out to an 11-4 score. 25 seconds left to go. As Bainey did a really nice job of getting a reversal and taking Yingling to his back, and he is 15 seconds away from moving into his first District 6 final tonight and becoming the 3rd Huntingdon Bearcat to move off. 5 seconds left to go, period number 3. Fans starting to clap. Bainey now with an 11-4 decision over Derek Yingling of West Branch, and he will move into tonight's finals for Huntingdon. So that's the 3rd Huntingdon Bearcat. Moving on. And next we will end up having on mat 2 again right here, right in front of us, by luck of the draw, John Wagner will now be wrestling Derek Brown of Penn Cambria. Wagner coming in as the top seed, ranked number 2 in the state, right behind Robert Patrick, who is also in his bracket. Patrick, the number 2 seed here. Again, Huntingdon giving a lot of respect because of the schedule that they wrestle. Huntingdon wrestles probably the toughest AA schedule of any team, and seed points matter. And because Huntingdon wrestles such that tough schedule, because they wrestle those tough kids, I think the kids were able to come out on top and get a lot of number 1 seeds here, 7 in all. And that matters. That matters a lot. Again, when you're out there facing the tough competition, it pays dividends at the end of the season, and we're seeing that. So John Wagner of Huntingdon versus Derek Brown of Penn Cambria, and we're underway here at 152 pounds. Wagner, Brown circling up here, center of the mat, some head taps from Wagner. Brown in on a shot attempt. Wagner drops to a knee. Brown trying to go heavy and upper body with Wagner. Probably not a good idea, as John's probably one of the stronger 152-pounders in the state. John was a outstanding running back for the Huntingdon Bearcats the past 2 seasons, and he's kind of morphed his body, to say the least, down to 152. He was probably 175, 180 during football season, probably more 175 range, but probably now able to get down to the 152-pound range, obviously through clearances. Able to do that unless the trainers say, hey, that's good. And there's a throw attempt by Wagner. Wagner able to take Brown directly to his back. So we got a 5-point move coming up for Wagner. He's got 3 near fall points, and Brown on his back. Wagner is putting all kinds of pressure on Brown's shoulders. He's trying to get him tilted over here. 1 minute left to go, period number 1. And Wagner has got Brown, again, in all kinds of trouble. So Huntington's starting to flex his muscles. Brown trying to flip out, and he does. He's able to roll through. 3 near fall points awarded to John Wagner. 44 seconds left to go, and Wagner's out to a 5-0 lead. Wagner, right wrist control and a tight waist in on Brown. He's got Brown down on the mat as he's going to look to try to turn him again here before the end of the period. 30 seconds left to go. 5-0 your score in favor of John Wagner of Huntingdon. Wagner again. Brown trying to base out here. Wagner having nothing of it as he sits down. He's trying to get a half Nelson in on Brown and turn him over onto his back. Trying to look for more near fall points. Brown still trying to base out here. 6 seconds left to go. Period number 1. You're 5-0 your score, and that's going to be the horn for period number 1. And John Wagner, the top seed, is going to carry a 5-0 score into period number 2. Referee will come to the mat and flip the coin, and Brown will decide to defer. Wagner's going to take bottom here to begin period number 2. And we got a caution on top as Brown trying to get started here a little bit earlier than the referee would like him to. Now he puts him in position, and there's the whistle, and Wagner route like a shotgun shell out of trying to get out, and there's the 1-point escape as Wagner just fired out with about as quick as a wrestler can get out from underneath, and we are out to a 6-0 lead for John Wagner of Huntingdon. Wagner stalking his prey, so to speak, here in the center of the mat. He's down to his double legs as he likes to get down on two knees and try to get his offense going. Wagner and Brown. Now 1:25 left to go. And as I was just doing some listening here, as Drew Simpson for Huntingdon will be wrestling his 160-pound quarterfinal consolation round match against Corello. Let me get his first name here for you, Jordan Corello of Central Mountain. That coming up. So we'll try to get the action of both of these going here for you. We're at 152-pound semifinal match. John Wagner out to a 6-0 lead here over Derek Brown of Penn Cambria. And we're going to look off to my left, and Simpson will be off to my left wrestling his Consi quarter match. So 2 matches going at once, and we'll try to bring you as much action as we possibly can. Both wrestlers off the edge of the mat here with Wagner and Brown. 43 seconds left to go, period number 2. John Wagner in total control of his match, and we are underway with the 160-pound consolation between Simpson and Corello. Both those wrestlers tied up in the center of the mat. Simpson proving to be a real tough out here again last night. If you weren't here, he had the top seat and all kinds of troubles. He was able to hit a headlock on Adam Faribaugh of Cambria Heights, and almost it was in a real good spot to try to look for a pin, but time ran out in the first period, and Simpson able to drop a decision as Faribaugh was able to battle back from that 5-point move that Simpson hit him with. So we are now out to an 8-1 score as I look back over on Wagner's mat. Period number 2, 16 seconds left to go. So that means that Wagner hit another takedown and Brown an escape. And Brown will now be in the down position as Wagner will look to move on to the third period as the top seed and out to a 8-1 lead. No score in the Simpson-Corello match. And we're going to end period number 1 with no score in that one. And we're going to end period number 2 with the Wagner match, and he is out to an 8-1 lead. Coin flip with Simpson and Corello, and they will both choose a neutral position. And we are underway in period number 2 of that match. Corello trying to, there is Simpson with a 2-point takedown of Corello. Now he will go out to a 2-0 lead. Simpson defeated Corello earlier in the year, and now he has Corello buried out. Back to action over here on mat number 2. Wagner and Brown. Wagner still with a 8-1 lead, 1:38 to go. Period number 3, John Wagner looking to become the 4th Bearcat to move into tonight's District 6 final. As Coach Eric Shea snaps his head around to look over and see what's happening with his other wrestler on the other mat. Simpson with a 2-1 lead as Corello able to get an escape, and now Simpson in on a deep single leg. And Corello trying to fend that off, but Simpson in on it real deep. Now I'm not sure the Corello is going to be able to fend that one off for too much longer, and there is a 2-point takedown for Simpson as he moves out to 4-1 lead. Back over here on mat number 2, Wagner semifinal. Still out to an 8-1 lead is John. There's a shot attempt by Brown, and there is a 2-point takedown for Wagner as he moves out to a 10-1 lead now with 1:08 to go, period number 3. Corello able to gain the escape with Simpson, so that bout score is 4-2. Again, that's a Consi quarterfinal match going on over there. Drew Simpson wrestling for 3rd place at 160 pounds. 50 seconds left to go on mat number 2. John Wagner of Huntingdon, the top seed. 10-1 score. He has Brown bellied out here in the middle of the mat. He's got 35 seconds left to go, and Wagner really in no threat here whatsoever as he's just dominating this match over Brown. Look back over and see what Simpson's doing. He's still maintaining a 4-2 lead as period number 2 is going to come to an end. And Simpson will have his choice, and he will choose to go down to start period number 3. Wagner still in control. 20 seconds left to go. 10-1 your score here. I see Jacob Oliver in the corner warming up. He's got a semifinal match coming up next. And there is Simpson still with a 4-2 lead. 1 minute 49 seconds left to go. And period number 3 is going to come to an end at 152 pounds. John Wagner will be a 10-1 winner over Derek Brown. And he will move into tonight's semifinal. So Wagner of Huntingdon keeping this Bearcat train rolling as he moves into tonight's semifinals. Most likely against the number 2 seed Robbie Patrick of Ligonier Valley. And we'll get you caught up later on here whenever we're able to get all these bout scores. We got some fast and furious action going on. Simpson out to a 5-2 lead as he's able to get the escape in period number 3. 1:29 left to go. Period number 3 in a Concy quarterfinal match. Drew Simpson of Huntingdon and Jordan Corello of Central. There is Simpson with another 2-point takedown as he's out to a 7-2 lead on Corello. Simpson looking good all tournament long for the Bearcats. Again, these wrestlebacks, they're crucial matches in the team race, and Simpson doing everything he can to keep himself a viable option for next weekend. He's going to move into a Concy semi match and have a real good shot at maybe winning that one as well, as he has looked really tough all weekend long. And Drew Simpson's one of those kids that's been bounced around the Huntingdon lineup during the year as Huntington's dealt with some injuries between 160, 170, 182. So kind of been bouncing around, but now he's settled into 160 here in his District 6 tournament and doing a really nice job. He's got a 7-3 lead over Corello of Central with 30 seconds left to go, period number 3. It looks like he's going to get this baby done and continue on his day. This will be his second win of the day. He was an earlier winner over Mike Yeckley, a 4-1 decision earlier in the day. And there is Simpson with another takedown. He's out to a 9-3 lead, 13 seconds left to go. So Drew Simpson of Huntingdon going to move on to the Concy semifinals tonight, where he will face the loser between Larry Brown of Moshannon Valley and Nate Clare of Bellwood Antis. And that's it. That's a final over there at 160 pounds as Drew Simpson will move on. And we will take a brief timeout and send this back to the studio as we await Jacob Oliver at 170 pounds for Huntingdon. So, Greg, I'll throw it back to you for a 2-minute timeout.
Hey, thank you very much. Chad States with his head on a swivel that last bout.
Woo! That's why we get paid the big bucks, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, good job, by the way. Sounding good, by the way. So thank you very much. Chad States live, by the way, from the District AA Wrestling Finals at Altoona Field House this afternoon. We're into the semifinals. John Wagner winning 10-1 at 152. He goes into the finals this evening, as well as Seth Bainey at 145 winning this afternoon. Tyler Scott, by the way, a winner, 3-2 in his bout at 138. He'll make it to the finals this evening, as well as Colin Glorioso at 132. The finals, of course, are tonight. We hope to have all that action for you. As I mentioned, Chad States is live at Altoona Field House. And we'll come back in just a few moments as we head into, I believe, the 170 bout, is it, Chad? As Jake Oliver is about set to wrestle his opponent. Jake, by the way, had a little bit of a shoulder injury. Any kind of problem with that these days, by the way, as far as Oliver is concerned?
It's hard to tell because he's spent less than one total minute on the mat here between his first two bouts. So, all systems are go right now from what it looks like with Jacob Oliver. Again, he hasn't been tested in his first two bouts, so we'll see as the competition begins to stiffen here as we get closer to the finals.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
By the way, who is Jake going to? Who's his opponent in the semifinals?
Jacob Oliver's opponent is Alan Kane of Penns Valley. He will come in with a 23-8 record. Kane won by fall in 30 seconds in his opening match, and then was able to win by technical fall 17-1 over the number 5 seed to advance into the semifinals.
Okay, and I'm not sure. Has Jake seen him yet this season from Penns Valley?
I do not know the answer to that.
Right.
I do not know that.
Okay. Hey, by the way, tonight's broadcast has been underwritten by Huntingdon High School alumnus throughout the nation. Huntingdon High School has provided our alums with quality education through our developing years, and for that, We are grateful, and we remain lifelong Bearcat fans. From the class of 69 and 72, go Cats! Continued success now and in the future. Also, the broadcast is brought to you by our friends at penswoods.net. If you're looking to buy, sell, or trade anything, check out the free ads at penswoods.net. It's Pennsylvania's largest site for classified ads, and best of all, it's free. So when it comes to buying, selling, or trading, check out your number one source online for classifieds, penswoods.net. Proud to be a sponsor of the things happening here at the airnetwork.net. Specifically, Greg Banks in the studio today. Chad State's live at Altoona Field House. It's District 6 AA Wrestling Championships, not only for the individuals, but the team competition as well. Last check, Mount Union was in second place, Huntingdon in first place. By the way, as Chad reiterated again, we had a winner at 132 this afternoon in the Colon Glorioso bout. He wins 1-0. Tyler Scott coming up at 138. He's a winner. He'll head into the finals, as well as Seth Bainey at 145, an 11-4 winner this afternoon. He'll head to the finals, as well as John Wagner at 152. By the way, coming up at 170, it's Jake Oliver, a placeholder in the States last year, and he, along with Glorioso, I believe, and perhaps even John Wagner, maybe looking at perhaps Chad getting into the States. Maybe that's looking too far down the road at this point, though. What do you think?
I don't think so for those two. I mean, Huntington having any less than, I think, maybe 5 or 6 going to Hershey this year would be somewhat of a disappointment. They just have that strong of a contingent, specifically in those middle weights, that they should have 6 solid wrestlers headed to Hershey this year. I would say 5 would be at the lowest end. Again, they have the potential of maybe doing 7, but right. I would be a little surprised if that happens. But there are 5, at least 5, that should definitely be wrestling in Hershey in 3 weeks.
Well, I know you have spoken on Monday Night Sports Talk, by the way, about the strength of their schedule, not just their individual or dual matches, but more importantly, the tournaments that they face throughout the season. Coach Mike, it's Bearcats.
That's exactly right. They wrestle a very tough schedule. They wrestle the King of the Mountain tournament at Central Mountain, one of the tougher ones in the state, and then they go out to the Escape the Rock tournament at Council Rock South, which not only takes into account Pennsylvania teams, but also teams from Maryland and Delaware and New Jersey. So, Coach Mike and his staff definitely recognize, hey, to beat the best, you got to go out and wrestle the best, yeah. and the better competition they see, the better his wrestlers are, specifically for this time of year when it really matters the most. And right. It's starting to pay off, as Huntington now has 4 kids in the District 6 the District 6 finals tonight. Right,
Chad State's live at the Altoona Field House, and Greg Banks in the studio here on the airnetwork.net. By the way, don't forget, coming up Monday, February 29th, it's the debut of Middays in Racetown Country with yours truly, Greg Banks. We'll be live Monday through Friday from 10 to noon, talking with guests, interesting guests from around Huntingdon County, talking about, of course, politics, maybe social issues, and a lot more. Join us Monday, February 29th for the debut of Middays in Racetown Country. It happens Monday through Friday from 10 to noon, exclusively on the airnetwork.net. Hey, another big weekend for Penn State wrestling, Chad, coming up tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. A big match this Sunday against Oklahoma State,
right,
billed as the National Duels Championship, so to speak. Oklahoma State coming in number 4. Unfortunately, Penn State won't be able to wrestle the number 2 ranked team in the nation, as that is the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Right.
But, we'll see what happens here. But Penn State expected to win that match. That'll be live on the Big Ten Network at 5 o'clock. So if you're not able to attend at Rec Hall,
right,
you can definitely watch it on TV as, again, that's some of Pennsylvania's best out there on the mat for Penn State University.
Hey, with Thon going on this weekend and all the other activities at Penn State, I'll be watching the Big Ten Network.
Absolutely.
From my lounge chair as Penn State takes on Oklahoma
Absolutely.
State.
I'm looking off to my right here, and I'm seeing Jacob Oliver with his Naval Academy sweatshirt on. Not sure if that's meaning anything, but it very well might, as he's rumored to be looking at that school, taking that sweatshirt off, getting his singlet strapped on as he gets ready to move on to his 170-pound semifinal match, which should be coming up here any minute now, as the match preceding him is now concluded. And And Jacob Oliver will step out into the mat here on mat number 2, as we are very fortunate to have all those wrestlers here right in front of us. Coach Mikett and Coach Shea will return back to the mat. We'll give some props to Johnny Wags here. Good job, Johnny. Way to go. He moves on to tonight's finals. And we'll get set for 170-pound action, semifinal action. Jacob Oliver, two-time District 6 AA champion, returning AA runner-up last year at 160 pounds. Moving up a weight class, he will wrestle Alan Kane of Penns Valley. There's Oliver and Kane. We are underway now. And I can look over and I can see that Oliver has that right shoulder strap. There's a quick shot by Oliver, not able to finish it. Looking strong, not looking tentative on that shoulder. There's Kane kind of pushing on it. There's a hard snap down by Oliver. Both wrestlers go out of bounds. And again, we're back underway here. 1:39 to go, period number 1. Oliver now on a quick duck under and single leg takedown attempt, and he returns Kane to the mat, and there's 2 points for Oliver. Now he really goes to work as he hits Kane with a really tough crossface and tries to get him turned over as he is applying all kinds of pressure. There's back points for Jacob, and he has got Kane in all kinds of problems. As soon as he hit Kane to the floor, to the mat, he just went right to work on him. 3-point near fall for Jacob Oliver. Period number 1, 1:08 your time, and a 5-0 lead for top-seeded Jacob Oliver of Huntingdon. And Oliver, expected to cruise in this match. Again, the only thing of doubt we've got with Jake is that shoulder. I'm just not quite sure, what the total status is of that. But again, he would look pretty damn aggressive there in that first initial takedown and crossface. We're gonna have a caution on Jake here, right off the bat. We got a little pause in the action. Coach Mike calling out something, maybe an inadvertent whistle or something, it looks like. And we're back under action here. 1 minute left to go. There's Oliver bellying out Kane, middle of the mat, trying to get him turned over, going to work on his head. There's another tough crossface for Oliver. Kane's going to feel that one in the morning, no doubt, as he just continues the beatings on top. Now Oliver looking to try to work on a cradle. Now wrist control with Oliver. As both wrestlers work out of bounds on the far side of the mat. And get readjusted and move back in here. And Oliver, put together 175-pounder, and he is about as aggressive a wrestler as you are going to see on the mat here. Back underway, 36 seconds left to go. Oliver looking to turn Kane over. Still looking to try to work him over. Kane doing a really good job of basing out, but really not doing anything on bottom at all. As looks like Jacob Oliver will complete his first period of the District 6 AA tournament. 20 seconds left to go. Again, trying to work in on a cradle. Look for a cradle there. Nothing going. Now he's just going to ride Kane out of bounds. 11 seconds left to go, period number 1, 5-0. Your score still in favor of Jacob Oliver of Huntingdon. Again, Coach Shea and Coach Mike are getting used to these seats over here as they've been kind of nestled in on this mat number 2 for the top seeds. Oliver breaking down Kane, and we are going to come to the conclusion of period number 1 and a 5-0 lead for Jacob Oliver. Kane going to defer his choice, and Oliver going to take neutral to start period number 2. And there's Oliver heavy on the head of Kane. He looks to try to duck, a nice duck under attempt there, but nice flat over. There's another duck under attempt. Double leg takedown. He returns Kane to the mat and got Kane back to his back, trying to turn him over. There's some work. He's got 3 near fall points given. He's getting Kane in all kinds of trouble, and the fall's got to be coming soon. There it is. 1:38 into the second period, a fall in 2 minutes and 22 seconds for Jacob Oliver of Huntingdon. And if that shoulder was injured, he gave no indication of it there as soon as he was able to get a takedown, on Kane. He was able to just go ahead and get him turned over. So we will wait to see who Oliver is going to wrestle. Give him another head slap. Good job. Say good job to Coach Eric Shea here, too, as they have now moved their 5th wrestler into the finals tonight. Jacob Oliver winning by fall in his semifinal match, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And he will advance into tonight's District 6 finals. So, again, that's 5 out of the 6 Bearcats into the District 6 finals tonight. The next semifinal match coming up at 195 pounds. That'll be number 1 seeded Logan Fisher of Huntingdon, looking to make it 6 Bearcats. So, Greg, back to you in the studio for a brief pause until we get Logan Fisher up here at 195 pounds.
All right, thank you very much. Chad States live from Altoona area Fieldhouse. Of course, for District 6 AA wrestling action, we've got, I believe he said 5 or 6 guys in the finals, and we'll talk more about that as we get ready to come back in just a few moments. We're going to take a little break, but listen, check us out on Facebook. We are updating you on the Air Network Facebook page. Of course, you can always come live, let everybody know that it is live on the air, the semifinals, and we'll have those finals for you this evening as well with Chad States live from Altoona Area High School Fieldhouse, and you'll hear it exclusively here on the airnetwork.net. We'll get back to you in just a few moments. Stick around, folks. It's theairnetwork.net. Live from Altoona Area High School Fieldhouse today is Chad States with District 6 AA wrestling action. Huntingdon Bearcats are involved in it, and Chad, you've got a consolation match coming up this time.
We got a consolation match going on right now. It is Landon Fisher of Huntingdon versus Zeke Fox of Portage. Fox, a sophomore, 19-5 on the season. It's a consolation quarterfinal match. Fisher, a sophomore. He is, and I'll find his record, 18-14 on the season. But Landon's one of those kids that's gutted it out all year, kind of wrestling a weight class that's a little bit heavy for him, as he's not a true 220-pounder. He's probably more in the 195 or a little bit lower, but he's wrestling up for the sake of the team, doing a really good job. And the crowd is erupting as a Mount Union kid just pinned a kid. Rigney from Mount Union looks like just pinned a kid from Ligonier Valley as the Mount Union contingent just erupts. And Rigney kid just walks off the mat in a fit of disgust and gets a 1-point team deduction. And Rigney from Mount Union a winner. Again, as the crowd is, the Mount Union contingent is in full force. Landon Fisher now on mat number 2. He is down he is up 2-1, I'm sorry. 2-1 decision, or he's up 2-1 on Fox of Portage. We're in period number 2 of that match. Fisher took the down position to try to get out here to begin period number 2. Fisher bellied out in the middle of the mat as Fox is just kind of sitting on him. Again, Fisher at a disadvantage this whole entire tournament. He's not a true 220-pounder. Probably more of a 195-pounder, but his brother Logan Fisher is sitting at 195, and again, the top seed there. So Landon bumping up for sake of the team and doing a good job, and there's a escape point for Landon as he is going to jump out to a 3-1 lead in his consolation quarterfinal match here. So Huntingdon doing very well, not only in the semifinal match, but also in the consolation quarterfinal match as well. .46 seconds left to go, period number 2, and Fisher in on a takedown attempt, and there's 2 points for Fisher. A 2-point takedown for Landon Fisher. Not sure what the team score is here yet. I haven't seen anything come across as to what we are looking at team score-wise, but Huntingdon, again, doing very, very well. Again, only 4 wrestlers eliminated to this point. They've advanced 5 into the finals, looking for their 6th, and they still have 4 alive in the consolation round. So, again, Huntingdon doing very, very well. Landon Fisher now out to a 5-1 lead. 6 seconds left to go, period number 2. So he's got Fox bellied out and is trying to look to turn him. Running a half Nelson armbar across his head. Period number 2 is going to come to an end, and Fisher out to a 5-1 lead. He will look to move on to a consolation semifinal match. Again, we won't have those on the Air Network. We will be back later tonight with District 6 championship finals and recap the rest of the action that has gone on here. Fisher out to a 5-1 lead. Again, trying to get more points for the Huntingdon Bearcat team as they are trying to secure their second District 6 AA tournament championship in a row. They just recently crowned the District 6 Single A championship, or AA dual championship, and now they're looking now. Fisher in a little bit of trouble, and he's able to roll out of it, and he's okay now as Fox is able to get a 1-point escape. Looking kind of like a defensive pin position there is where Fisher was rolling into, but 1:20 left to go. Landon in on a deep single leg of Fox. He's definitely the quicker of the two athletes. Now Fox able to scoot around, and now we've got a tight 5-4 bout. Fisher in the lead, 5-4. This is where it's easy for a kid of Landon's stature to tire out, and nothing against him at all. Again, he's given up a lot of weight when he's in this weight class. He's going to try to get an escape here. Again, he's hanging on to a 5-4 lead, trying not to get turned. As long as he gets turned and he stays right where he's at, he's going to be okay. Now he's going to try to come through for a reversal, and he's got a reversal for Fox. Now he takes Fox to his back for 3 near-fall points, and the fall for Landon Fisher, and more bonus points for the Huntingdon Bearcats as Landon Fisher is able to come up with a fall in the third period. Time on that fall, 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And the parade keeps on rolling here for Huntingdon as Landon Fisher wins his consolation quarterfinal match by fall in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And now we'll advance on to the consolation semifinal. So, again, Huntingdon just continuing to do a very, very good job in this round. Again, we're not able to get the team score updated yet. We'll try to get that for you as time goes on here. Maybe after Logan Fisher's match, we'll be able to try to get some clarity around that. But, again, just the round that Huntingdon needed, only one loss in this round so far, that coming at 120 pounds, where Isaac Benson lost by fall in his match, and he was actually winning. So Huntingdon, again, doing a really good job. We got 12 seconds left to go in a match out here right in front of me. And we should be coming up with a 195-pound semifinal match between Logan Fisher of Huntingdon and get the guy's name, Jerry Moore of Blairsville. So, Greg, we'll send it back to you for a 2-minute timeout. We'll come back to you out to the field house.
Chat States live. Thank you, Chad. Live from the Altoona Field House today for District 6 AA wrestling action is happening live here on the airnetwork.net. Glad to have you along. By the way, the Bearcat broadcasts throughout the season have been courtesy of the Huntingdon Drop-In Center at 512 Washington Street, downtown Huntingdon, where they provide a wide range of social, educational, and recreational activities to the local mental health population. They also operate the County Fresh Express food distribution every month. The next Fresh Express food distribution, by the way, is happening this coming Wednesday, February 24th at 512 Washington Street. That begins at noon. So thanks for your continued support of Bearcat Sports here on the airnetwork.net. Chad States, by the way, will kind of give us a wrap-up following the 195 bout with Logan Fisher. We're hoping to get 6 Huntingdon Bearcats into tonight's finals. By the way, Chad, you'll have all the action of the finals for us later on this evening, correct?
And Greg, I'm going to interrupt you as we are in period number 2 of Logan Fisher's match. I actually missed the start of it. He is out to an 8-1 lead in that match. So we'll call the rest of that, and then we'll go ahead and cut the break as Fisher from Huntingdon is leading Jerry Moore of Blairsville 8-1 now. With 26 seconds left to go in period number 2. It's on the far edge of the mat, so it's tough for me to see now, but it looks like Moore is able to scoot around maybe for a 2-point takedown of his own. Nothing given up yet as Fisher is clinging onto the leg of Moore. 12 seconds left to go, period number 2. And still no control, still in a neutral position. 6 seconds left to go. Fisher doing a really good job of fighting off the takedown attempt of Moore. And period number 2 is going to come to an end with top-seeded Logan Fisher of Huntingdon leading 8-1. Moore is going to take the neutral position. Again, Logan Fisher looking to become the 6th Bearcat to move into tonight's District 6 final. So about as strong as contingent as you can expect. Huntingdon will be well represented. 14 weight classes, and 6 of them are going to have Bearcats in them tonight. 1:50 to go, period number 3. Fisher and Moore tied up, center of the mat. Fisher with underhooks now. And we've got a stalemate call. Wrestlers return back to the center of the mat again. 8-1 to score in favor of Logan Fisher. His brother Landon Fisher just winning his consolation quarterfinal match, and Logan looking to become the 6th Bearcat to head into the finals tonight. There is Fisher trying to look to go upper body with Moore. Now Moore on a double leg takedown of his own attempt, and Fisher able to fight that off. Both wrestlers out of bounds. Neutral. Now 1:21 to go. Period number 3. Again, you're listening to live District 6 AA wrestling action from the Altoona Field House on the airnetwork.net. Chad State's bringing you all the action as the Huntingdon Bearcats sending a strong contingent here to today's tournament. Really the favorite to win the team race, and they are knocking it out of the park in this round. There is a weak shot attempt by Fisher, and Moore able to use that to his advantage and get a takedown on Fisher. Now an 8-3 score as Moore will go to work with Fisher all bellied out on the bottom, but Moore's really going to have to get to work here if he's going to try to do something against top-seeded Logan Fisher of Huntingdon. Fisher bellied out here, and we got a stall warning on Fisher on the bottom as he was just kind of laying there, not really doing much of anything, trying to come out. 38 seconds left to go, period number 3. Fisher again in the lead. And now Fisher's going to be able to come out for a 1-point escape attempt. Maybe not. Nope. As Moore tried to roll Fisher over. And now there's a reversal by Fisher, and he's going to extend that lead to 10-3 with 15 seconds left to go. And go to work on Moore from the top position. And we've got 5 seconds. And that's going to do it as Logan Fisher is going to advance into tonight's final and become the 6th Huntingdon Bearcat to wrestle for a District 6 AA champion by way of a 10-3 score. So that will conclude action here in the semifinal round. I'll send it back to Greg for a brief timeout, and then we'll come back with a quick recap of the fast and furious action in the semifinal round here at the District 6 AA Championship, live from the Altoona Field House.
All right, thank you again, Chad. Good job. It's sounding great as well from Altoona Area Field House as we're into District 6 AA Wrestling semifinals, wrapping up the Huntingdon portion with 6 wrestlers moving into the finals this evening, by the way. We'll have a rebroadcast of the semifinals coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon, by the way, and Chad will update us on team scores. He'll give us an update of some of the wrestlers that we'll see tonight in the finals. By the way, if you are a fan of not just Huntingdon, but perhaps Juniata Valley or Mount Union, you'll want to tune in this evening as we have live District 6 AA wrestling action. Maybe you can listen as your guys make it through to the finals as well. Meanwhile, thanks again to some of our sponsors, including Images Print Shop, downtown Huntingdon, for a variety of print services, including brochures, newsletters, business cards, business forms, and more. Let Images Print Shop provide you with quality print services or perhaps web hosting. Call Images Print Shop 643-1796, weekdays from 9 to 3. Images Print Shop, your hometown print shop in downtown Huntingdon. Also, thank you to our underwriters from the Huntingdon Area High School alumnus throughout the nation where they listen to the airnetwork.net. Huntingdon High School has provided our alums with quality education through our developing years, and for that we are grateful. And we remain lifelong Bearcat fans. From the class of 69 and 72 specifically, go Cats! Continued success now and in the future. Tonight's Bearcat broadcast also brought to you by penswoods.net. If you're looking to buy, sell, trade, or give away anything, check out the free ads at penswoods.net. It's Pennsylvania's largest site for classified ads, and best of all, it's free. So when it comes to buying, selling, or trading, check out your #1 source online, penswoods.net. Greg Banks in the studio. Chad State's live from Altoona this afternoon. District 6 AA semifinal action. Chad, as we get ready to wrap things up, not a bad afternoon for Coach Mikett and the Bearcats.
An outstanding afternoon. All started off the consolation round with, actually, we'll move to semifinal action here. Let's go to consolation action. 113 pounds, consolation round. Number 2, Jake Wagner of Huntingdon, able to win by fall in his opening bout. Mm-hmm. Then we move on to 120 pounds, where Isaac Benson, the top seed, lost by fall. He was winning that bout 7-3, got a little bit too high on his opponent. His opponent was able to turn him off to his back, so Isaac Benson will move into the consolation semifinals later tonight. 132 pounds, number 1 top-ranked Colin Glorioso won his semifinal bout by a decision of 1-0 by way of an escape in the second period. Top-seeded Tyler Scott won a 3-2 decision over Robbie Steele of Mount Union in a very, very tightly contested match. He will move on to tonight's finals. Seth Bainey, the number 1 top seed at 145 pounds with an 11-4 decision. Again, he will wrestle for a District 6 AA championship tonight. At 152 pounds, this will be a battle. John Wagner with a 10-1 decision in his semifinal match. He will move on to the finals, and he will wrestle Robert Patrick of Ligonier Valley. Patrick ranked number 1 in the state at 152 pounds. Wagner ranked number 2 in the state at 152 pounds. At 160 pounds, we have Drew Simpson still staying alive for Huntingdon, as he was able to win in his second-round consolation match 4-1, and then in his consolation quarterfinal match with a 9-3 decision. He will wrestle in the consolation semifinals coming up later on. At 170 pounds, Jacob Oliver with a fall in 2 minutes and 22 seconds in his semifinal match. He will move on to the finals tonight to wrestle Walters from Cambria Heights. At 195 pounds, we just saw top seed Logan Fisher with a 10-3 decision. He will move on to the finals tonight. His opponent has yet to be decided. And at 220 pounds, his brother, number 8 seed Landon Fisher, in a Conti third-round match earlier today with an 8-2 win. And then in the Conti quarterfinal match, he just won by fall in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. So, Greg, out of all that fast and furious action, we're not talking about a lot of losses for the Bearcats. So I will look to try to get a team score and have that updated before the next session starts. Okay. But again, that is the round that Huntingdon wanted to see happen. Only one loss in that round, and I got to believe they just strengthened their position in that lead in the District 6 AA championships here from the Altoona Field House in Altoona, PA.
Hey, I wanted to mention, so the consolation matches, they're a part of the team competition as well?
Oh, absolutely right. You can score points on the consolation matches. So every one of these kids that are still wrestling are still scoring points for their teams. And every point matters whenever you're in a tournament like this, especially as close as what this was beginning this round. Huntingdon had 120, Huntingdon with 120 points and Mount Union with 109.5 entering this round. Okay. Hey, coming up tonight, by the way, the finals, I'm guessing around 6:30, 7 o'clock, perhaps we'll have some live action. Is that right, Chad? Well, the finals start at 6 o'clock. The graded champions are actually at 5:30.
Oh, so okay.
We'll want to be on the air probably somewhere around 5:30 to do some discussions and some things.
Okay.
And then kind of roll into the District 6 AA finals tonight from the Altoona Field House.
All right. I want to let our listeners know they can tune back in for the semifinals. If you missed it live, we'll have a rebroadcast for you this afternoon at 3 o'clock. With Chad States giving you all the action. Then this evening, as Chad mentioned, we'll probably hit the airwaves here on the Air Network about 5:30. Now, we'll not only just bring you the Huntingdon matches, but if there are any kids from Mount Union or Juniata Valley or the other areas, we'll have those matches as well from top to bottom. It all happens right here. Hey, Chad, splendid job again. Thank you, man. I mean, good job. Sounded great as well.
Anytime.
All right, Chad States, longtime statistician, historian for Bearcat football, but now, of course, he's reached out and helped us this year in wrestling as well, and I think he did a couple of matches for us last year. So thanks again to Chad States. We'll have all Bearcat sports someday on the air exclusively. If you can't get it on your local radio station, you'll hear it here on the airnetwork.net. Hey, meanwhile, I'm Greg Banks in the studio. We thank you for listening to Bearcat Wrestling in the semifinals. Again, the Bearcats take 6 into the finals this evening. We'll hit the airwaves about 5:30 with Chad States and all the action and information from Altoona Field House for District 6 AA wrestling action and the finals tonight here on the airnetwork.net. Meanwhile, back to regular programming for the weekend. If you haven't had a chance to hear it live, the semifinals, we'll play those back for you on the Air Network at 3 o'clock. Thanks again for listening, and thank you for supporting Bearcat Sports on the AirNetwork.net.